The evening report. There you go. Good evening, everybody. Today being August 21, 2023. One of the changes here at JSL, hopefully, we'll develop some consistency here, trying to get it at or around 6 o'clock. Come in for a few minutes and review the day. The other report that we do, we cover approximately 12 to 15 hours. And this one's going to cover all but maybe 6 hours a day. So we have 24 hours that we're covering. So in the morning, we'll do the same stuff in the evening as we do the morning, but it'll be a lot faster. And or I may have a guest come on, which I'm in the middle of doing a whole lot of things here to change how things are run here at JSL on my part. Video editing, which is a big deal, and focusing on the business aspect of JSL. You won't change your feel here at JSL in the morning or the evening reports. The other stuff that will be changed, and you'll see bits and pieces of it through the day, through mini commercials or mini things like that happens, and so I can draw you to those others. And what we're doing here on YouTube hasn't been nothing short of spectacular. Meaning for us, it's always a backup of the morning report, and having that where if you miss it in the morning, you can go and watch it or listen to it. And you can hear me pull my finger or Tim do it, and Tim gets switches and mom yelling and screaming and whatever. It doesn't matter. It's always Ice Cream's fault. So you have to find out who that is if you want to find out. And but it's it's always fun, always fun, and I enjoy every single one of you. And I'm gonna name y'all right after this report here. I will be bouncing the site. We got 153 hours in, and it needs to be refreshed. And it's been solid. So I don't, if it's one of those things, if it ain't broke, don't fix it, eh? Well, let me get right into it. The last 24 hours, still the only C5 flare. The solar wind is at 533. The density's under 2 protons per cubic meter. Wind speed, in case you don't know, is 533 kilometers every second. That's what's coming at us from the sun and from the outer space. The sun's super quiet. I mean, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 sunspots. One is around the corner emerging. I'll show you that real quick, but let me turn that off so you don't have to listen to that again. And we'll look. This one here is coming around the corner right there, and I think that's going to be a very active one. I'm not sure yet. We could look at stereo here real quick, run through the numbers here, and then change the date here, 21, and it may show us. It depends, last week it was busted, so we'll see. Yeah, it's still busted. Something happened to the satellite, and that's pretty odd. We can also look at LASCO, and LASCO is right here. You can see a bright spot right here around the guy. That's what's coming around the corner. So this is a little bit further away. The disk is really big here, and it's really zoomed in. LASCO 2, LASCO 3. And we'll take a quick look at what's happening around. You can see all the stuff that's coming at us right now. You can see that's a shadow of the sun, if you can believe that, right? There's something in the way that's blocking it. I don't know. I think it's a planet or something. And you can see, planets going behind it. And if we did for our boy, he likes to know where Uranus is, but it's on the other side of Jupiter. So everything seems to be on this side of the sun. Mars has got to get over here, and yeah, have you noticed that? All the planets on one side? That's really weird. Is it ever going to get there? Mercury being there. It only goes up in 19. It goes up to September 20. So Mercury and Venus are quicker to go around the sun. Mars and it's going to get over here, and it'll be odd that having all these on one side. But hey, Uranus is up there. You'll be able to see it, sometime in September, I think. And if we're zooming out, Jupiter, and you can't see it because something else. Here's 822. That's tomorrow. This is 821. That is today. Saturn is visible to us. Neptune, if you got a good satellite, one of those things that look at planets. And Venus, of course. And Merc is off to the left, and pretty hard to see that. I think that's what all the glows mean on that channel. Let's see. The tremors, I think it's updated now. There's no tremors today. Yeah. 0. Or they didn't see any. Here's yesterday's 77 tremors, Northern Cal, Silesia, and over by, south of Eugene in Roseburg. Let's see, what else? The buoys. Yeah, we didn't check the buoys this morning. I don't see anything popping as I glean around the edges. Even no more stuff here. We have a tropical something out there. Storm. They're going to think it's a storm, tropical storm, and a depression will come in. We've been watching that stuff happen this morning, and it looks like it might develop into something, so we'll see. The prediction of this hurricane is to go out this way through Dominican Republic and continue as a tropical storm. Generally speaking, when a storm comes from right to left and it hits the Dominican Republic, it explodes and it just dies. But this is going to bypass it, maybe go around it or through it in the opposite direction, and maybe it'll turn into something. There's some predictions to say it will come in right in this region and then go out, or maybe up here by Nova Scotia. We don't know yet. It's pretty far out. There is a tropical storm, Franklin, that's out there. That's a hurricane, and that's what we're talking about, actually. There is the other one, a tropical depression, and if we clicked on this, maybe we'll see it. No, we won't. So let's go ahead and look at the COD real quick. Hillary is gone. It's way up here in Idaho. There's another low that was off the coast at San Francisco, and now it's come across, it looks like. Yeah, you can see it coming across here as Hillary is up in here. Moving on up into Montana by tomorrow or late tonight. This is the tropical something that's out in the ocean in Gulf and bringing in some tropical moisture. It might develop, but I'm not sure. Nobody is. You just don't know. It came over here from Florida and has moved this way. There's a lot of tropical moisture out here. You can see a sucking of energy into it from off of this, and you can see all the rain that went through here and moisture, monsoonal stuff, and it was a nothing burger in California. Yeah, we had a couple flash floods, but that's because the ground is so hard, and it's not saturated. It's saturated. It's saturated. And yeah, it'll be bye-bye. Go right over the top. Like it'll be like cement and just roll right off. So in looking at the global sectors here, we'll look at the east and we'll look at this. There's a little something that's getting out of here. this is one we're talking about. And as the thing develops, we'll see. Got another one. There's 5 of them out there. Once it downloads, I mean, it's almost there. Here we go. This one over here is disappearing. It's going out of the way. This one here is stationary, and this one's developing into a tropical storm. There it goes, and it's being beat up pretty good. Both of them are going into each other there. This is the one that's in the Gulf, and it looks like it's just sucking all that energy and maybe, but this high pushing down might kill it. And this all that low pressure, you know, all this high right here, but it's just a lot of dry air. We can look at the it's lower level right here. Look at all the dry air. That dry air is a killer on every hurricane. So you want to see a hurricane die? Put it up against that dry air, all that yellow stuff. That's a killer. And there's so much of this thing to suck that in there, and you can see it just almost disappear. And same up in here. That's what killed Hillary, by the way. Dry. Well, dry humor, right? And maybe that's how we kill Hillary. I don't know. Can't kill her with kindness because it don't work. Look at all the dryness out here now, right? Getting sucked up. Yep. Boom, boom, as Hillary jumps up into here. And here's that a low pressure right here. It's sucking up this dry as well. And it's got some energy out of Hillary, but it's still being sucked up the dry. Here's another low pressure down, it looks like up in Vancouver Island. And this one moving across the top. Here's another one. Here's yet another one. So they're all in the top coming over. We'll see how those go. All this heat is going to come in, dry us out. Monsoonal moisture coming in. And, you know, the transition between the two, that's going to create a lot of thunderstorms. And the teachings that we put off in the mornings about weather change and all that, how weather works, we'll continue that, and you'll learn more. Yeah, the more you learn, the better you understand things, right? So we'll be doing that too. In just a minute. The fall equinox, when's that? Is that in September, October there, Eden? Yeah, I think it'd be the change. So yeah, is that in October? No, it'll be in September, right? Yeah, I think it's in September 21. So this is all done. And looking at this thing, it's all done. We looked at this, that's all done. Earthquakes, according to Alamax, for the day. Afghanistan popped with a 5. Mindanao looks like it had a few little bumpers. 821, so 819. Here we go, 821 right up in here. So there's not a lot of stuff today. Couple of 5s, 4.9, Afghanistan, the Philippines. Ecuador had a near 5 today. Fiji Islands had a couple of 4s. Flora SC came in with a 5.1. It's easier to see it when you're looking at the map. You see it smattering across North America here. Not a lot. Up by Tahoe here. Walker, we talked about that this morning. Nothing's happened since, right? Then we had this one in Ojai, another one in Ojai. So that's still not rumbling pretty intensely at all. I mean, there's 11 right there today. Yeah, and if I did all of them all today, you'll see 62 quakes today. Yeah, I mean, it happens, you know, when you get a 5.1 out there. Was it only a 5.1? Sure. 5.1 to 5.6, somewhere in there. Didn't do much damage. I haven't seen anybody say damage. I heard it was a quick roller, and that was it. So something slid, something, you know, and so don't worry about it. It should be okay. Couple of Madrids up in Oklahoma, a couple in Texas. The Yellowstone did pop today. I saw. Oops, sorry about that. I saw a quake. Maybe it was yesterday. Yeah, they even got it removed here. A lot of noise up there in Mammoth Vault, but if you look, there's a couple of little dingers, and nothing serious. Norris Junction, Madison River, Maple Creek, the west boundary, Grayland. Nothing here. Here's on the east. There's some noise out there, but I don't know what that is. Could be weather. Parker, that's a little quake. You know, that came through. So, don't know. This is Alamex, so it's harder to read it. Up in Alaska, a lot of little smallies. Just little smallies, right? And this is USGS. This is what they'll give us. Japan came in just as we were closing up. I saw that. Bang on Hokkaido there. In between, just north of Okinawa. Look at all these in here in the Philippines and the Sulawesi and Indonesia here. It was a 5-2 just behind Timor. And then right up in here, we've got 4-6. And we have a 4-6. And then we have a 4-6. And then we have a 4-8. And then we have a 4-6. Look at those. That should tell you something. There's power moving through at a 4-6 level. Fiji had a 4.3 at 548, looking for a 5.3 in that realm. Tonga, right near it, it had a deep 504, 4.3, the same thing, almost the same quake, within 100 miles of each other. And then we got a 4.9 down here at 500 south of Fiji, and we'd be looking for a near 5.9. So there's 6 power out here, definitely 5.5 power, and that's all shallow. Go 500, 1,000 miles away, and it'll drop down. So if this is supposed to be 6, if this is going to be a 6, it has enough down here to get to 5.5, 5.3. Same thing out here in the Solomons. We should see it, right around 5 level, and then it will drop down precipitously as it gets down the road. And 4.6 sounds about right. The further, farther you go away, and when it goes through these different plate boundaries, it drops off. It absorbs so much energy, and it pushes on the next one, and then it pushes on the next one, and each one it pushes absorbs a little bit. So it's kind of like if I put this up here, you got a plate boundary here, and you got a plate boundary here, and you got one over here. And if we put something together like this, right, and we have an earthquake out here, and that energy gets transformed to this, and then as it translates all the way down, it absorbs. This one will absorb so much, and this one absorbs so much, and the like. And we have a plate boundary. This plate absorbs so much, this plate absorbs so much, this does too, at around the areas of the plate boundaries. So you can actually do that. The quake that happens in the trench, out here, whoops, the trench out here, so that pressure that comes up, and it shows itself right up in here, this plate is going to absorb so much. Let's say 1 point, and this one will do like 0.5, and then this is like 0.3. It depends on how much is in the way. If there's like big mountains or little mountains, or how long the plate boundary is. So from a 1, so if it's a 5, you might get a 4 here. You might get a -5, a 3, 5 there. And then here you might get a 3.2. But absorbed. And so it takes a little bit off the tick. Also, it can just translate that 5 to a 5, to a 5, or from a 5. Like it can do these ones here and then come back and pop 5s. It depends on how it's kind of you have a scale, right? And you got a pound here and you got a pound here. It's pretty equal. But if you got a pound 0.5 here and you only have a pound here, this one's going to rise. It's going to demand more. But it has to absorb that much to get down to where they're even. I think that's how it works. That's how I see it working. If you got a different idea, go ahead, put it in chat, send us a link, and we'll discuss it. That's one subject itself to discuss. Miramar popped again, 4.5. Up in Tajikistan and in Uzbekistan, all the stands are arguing again. It's a transition. Anything that happens in Japan happens up in here. It's really weird. Normally, if we hear at the backside of Japan, then we'll hear the Sea of Irkutsk. It'll come around up here in Mongolia, north between Russia and Mongolia, up here in Lake Baikal, and then we'll see some activity up in here, and then it'll move over here, and vice versa. Whether there's a plate boundary up in there, I don't know. You do see stuff run through Iran, but generally I see some stuff going right through these lakes up here, Caspian Sea. You can see these mountain ranges, the Caucasus Mountains, right? It just kind of travels along and then hits to Turkey, and then shoot. Turkey's like a highway, a super highway off-ramp. Pressure can come to the south, it can come up from the south and go down through Cyprus, it can go back through Cyprus, or it can go through Istanbul into Romania, up and around, or through Greece and come back up through Italy. It just seems that things happen that way. So here's the 4.3 Turkey today. So I thought there was a Crete one, but I didn't see it on USGS. Probably have to look at EMSC, and we'll do that real quick. Just looking at the last 12 hours or so, overlap a little bit. Diogenes, that's the Turkey one, 4.3. 126 people felt that one. And Oklahoma, 4.1, Baja, California. It's a 2 depth. Interesting, that quake in Baja. We saw some activity in Texas, and we were looking for the Baja one, and it kind of came through. Oops, that's the historical record of what happens. But this quake here, on the backside, that's where the hurricane hit. So that area has been quite busy, right through here and up in here over the last 6 months. Remember that one that happened out here off the coast, then it came in here, rocked this thing here, and then it's been shooting up in here. But this a little bit further, a little bit further north. Saturation will allow the thing to move because there's less friction if it's saturated, right? So we'll see how that works. And let's see what else. Let's see if there's anything happening volcanic wise. From Volcano Discovery, today doesn't appear like it. Reventador, Venus, Ebikaya, Ebico. That's the 22nd. That's tomorrow. It's already into tomorrow. So hey, what do you say there? So you got Sebenkaya, 24,000 is nothing. Ebico, 15,000. Yeah, that one's in Alaska there. at Ubinas, 20,000. Strong emissions. It's not shooting ash very high from an 18,000 to 20,000, but it's a sporadic strong emissions. They're seeing, it's shooting up gases and stuff. But the emissions, the ash advisory is just, it keeps it low, like Reventador there. So, but Evico, 15,000. It's a 3,700 foot mountain. Come on. So you got to wonder. And it's down there right at the base of Kamchatka. So, hey, so, well, normally when it pops to about 11,000. That's a pretty strong one there. Now, we did just have that Japan quake today, right here. Evico is like right down here on this one. So maybe that pressure from the 4.6 moved up and gave it a little more oomph. If we went to the 7 days, 7 points, you'll see that there was a lot of activity out here. So, yeah. To me, they seem to be barometers. Like if there's something happening, the volcano's got to respond. There's a bunch of quakes, the volcano's got to respond. It's got to let off that gas. It's like a bubble underneath. It's like, and it's got to pop up. So that's kind of how I see it. If you see it a different way, put it on the chat. We can discuss it. That's cool. Now, South America, interesting enough, way down in Argentina, had a 4.2. Up here, Guayaquil, Ecuador, 5.5 today, and a 4.2. Now, the 5.5 is real close to the 6.7, 6.8 that we had a few months ago. And the volcanoes kind of went nuts since then. Cotopaxi, Reventador, and Sangay. And there was another one, little one right up in here that kind of went nuts because of this activity here. Interesting how there's a bend right here and it kind of comes in. I wonder if that's coming from something else. The push. There's interesting that from here down to about here, there's no volcanoes, and yet there's a subduction zone. I find that really interesting. And then Ecuador's got like a row of volcanoes, and then it's got some other ones starting up in the back. That's interesting to me. And we got the other ones up in here in Colombia that been there. And then plus we had pretty strong quakes over the summer, over the weekend in Colombia. So we're keeping an eye out what's going on. If you see something, hey man, post it and we'll look it up. Yeah, the superhighway right there, right? Let's see what else we have. The incredible fires are happening all over in Canada. We need somebody to discuss those. Yeah, I think it's a 21, 22 there, super walleye king. Let's see, hurricanes, we talked a little bit about those. Nothing out in the Pacific, the Eastern Pacific, nothing's happening. The Atlantic, Franklin's here. We have GERT, the tropical depression, 30 miles an hour. There's this one out, 0% chance. Yeah, and then this one's a 40% chance turning into something. And 9, it's 35 miles an hour, sustained winds. It's a pretty good little tropical depression that'll come in West Texas and Central and West Texas. So we'll see how that goes. See, Franklin, yeah. There's talk about it moving that way, but I don't know which way it's moving. Let's take out Wendy, what Wendy has to say. And there's Franklin. So if I just push play, looks like it's going due west. Yeah. Gert's kind of going north a little bit. Emily is kind of going north. So Franklin's the one we got to worry about. I don't think these are going to even come close to the continental. Now they're saying this one's turning north by Tuesday next. And I guess it's going to... Last I heard on the, I don't know, 29th, it should be up in here. Or there should be a pretty good storm up in there. Yeah. So they anticipate this one making a right-hand turn. That's what all the reports are saying. So this one's going to go shoot up. This one's going to go up. This one's going up. So that's it. What else we have? That's the beans you're cooking. This little report here, the night update for the morning report. That's what we'll be doing here. Like I said, and it's just to keep your abreast attitude, what's going on. If you've missed something, you can always look back on the channel, and we'll try to get that link to you. This is Cali right now. You can see Hawaii's been bouncing a little bit. If you didn't know that, you should check out Hawaii. There's been some crazy stuff, and let's see what happens. All right, maybe turn that off. Hang in there, don't get none on you. This is a small little report, 30 minutes long. Take care, everybody. We'll have some other people on next time.